Here we are, halfway through the Feast for the Soul. It is February 3rd, 2022, and I'm so happy you're here. We're here for a live practice today with a dear friend, a former Carmelite nun, a mystic, a traveler, a journeyer, and her name is Kimberly Braun. Now, I know she's here somewhere, so I've got to find her. So Kimberly, I don't know if you've been able to connect. She's sitting in a rest area. Here we go, Kimberly. She's sitting in a rest area, and she can tell you why. But hopefully her connection is really good. Hi.
Hi. Can you see me?
Yes.
Good. Yay.
Yay.
Hello, everyone. It's so great to be with you. My being in a rest area is no minimization of the power of this feast for the soul. Sometimes in life, we have a plan A, B, and C to show up in a certain way, and a plan D presents itself because the other ones fall through. So that's what happened for me. And I have just crossed from Louisiana. I'm on the Texas side of the border in a great welcome center that's got good reception in it. And so it's fantastic to be with you all. And we have the opportunity wherever we are, whatever is happening outside of us, inside of us, there is always this beckoning call, this invitation to drop into the fullness of our being. And with that call goes all that is needed and supportive for that to happen. So it's not all on our shoulders, but as we open our ears and our heart and our souls to hear the call, I like to say the call of the beloved, within that is the inherent fulfillment of resting in that call and coming to the fullness of who and what we are. And you all know this, you've been participating in the feast, and no matter where you may be in your own personal journey or path, I know that I speak words that, rather than being a new insight, are opportunities to awaken in new ways to the insight you already know. So I want to begin with a poem that I think really speaks to my own sense of presence as I enter into this time with you. And after I read the poem, I'll offer the setup, the instruction, and the description of what our meditation will be today. But just as a remote preparation for us to cross what seem to be the boundaries of time and space and enter into this formative and dynamic moment that we have together, let yourself close your eyes and let the words of this poem awaken anew within you your own timeless sense of being. Spaciousness within today, silently revering the innermost parts of the self, irrevocably hailed, placing me into restful states. The sweet allowing opens the door, and I move spontaneously, moving along the paths of divine pining, unwinding into creation, home. I go anywhere and find I belong everywhere. This morning's session together will be my own essence meditation technique applied to a breathing experience together. And my technique is threefold. It has to do with separation, moving into liminality, and then returning through reaggregation. The separation is the answering an assent to the inward call in such a way that we let go of our patterning that holds that union with self at arm's length. The liminality is the plunge into the unknown. In traditional senses, that would be the body of the meditation practice, whatever that might be. But the setup is to allow us to jump off the cliff into the unknown with the solid confidence and expectation that we will experience the fullness of bliss and union, whatever our language around that might be. And the closing point of essence meditation is the reaggregation, and that is the integration on a cellular level of the liminal experience so that we walk forward in our day with the very fruit of what the experience was. Anywhere on the spectrum, whether it's 1% integration, 100% integration, for most of us, we fall somewhere on that spectrum and we're still stabilizing into this life of living present at each moment. And we'll be allowing the breath to be our vehicle today for essence meditation. So I invite you to close your eyes. And with the eyes closed, take any finger on the left hand and place it on the third eye. That is the point that sits slightly above the brow line, but centered between the eyebrows, somewhat in the center of the forehead. But as you place a finger there, let yourself become aware of where that point is. You'll feel a sense of rightness. If you're off a little, vertically or horizontally, it will feel like you're not quite in that point. Let your finger move exactly to the very point that is the center of the sixth chakra and the third eye in the frontal center. And bring your inward gaze, bring your focus to that very point of touch. And in the concentrated focus of that point, of that touch, choose to release the patterns that provide or promote difficulty in your coming to a place of true vulnerability, openness, and presence. And now, watching that finger that you have in the center of the third eye, let the gaze and the inward attention be pulled along with the finger as you slowly draw it down onto the bridge of the nose, to the tip of the nose, downward across the lips, to the chin, to the throat. Keep the attention focused here, all the way to the center of the chest and the place of the heart chakra. All that the mind cares about is held by the heart, which is the symbol of the universal heart that cares for you infinitely more than what you realize. And release the hand, allowing it to come to rest. upon your lap or your knees, whatever's comfortable for you. Once again, we harness the intention and focus, and this time bring it to your breath. Notice the rhythm of the breath as the body expands on the inhale and contracts on the exhale. Lightly observe that you are alive, that you are a living being that breathes steadily. And become aware that at this very moment, there are many other human beings breathing with you in this dedicated meditation, and that we sit together, all breathing. And in the gentlest of ways, awaken your awareness to the insight and observation that you are breathing along with every human being on the planet. Together as one, we breathe. And this then awakens the observation that you, precious you, are breathing as all of creation is breathing. All the elements, all plants, all animals, all mammals, all human beings. Together we sit and we breathe, for it is good to be. And by this gentle observation, we magnify and amplify the goodness from which this breathing comes. It happens like a blessing, like a transmission of light and love, effortlessly. As we do what is quite profound and quite simple, we breathe. my invitation is to now shift your awareness ever so slightly to the breathing and the understanding that you are being breathed, that all creation is being breathed into existence. And our participation, while seemingly active, is a response to the breath of consciousness itself. Relax into the knowing that you are fully breathed into this moment. And in that breath, all of what you are, conscious and unconscious, is tended, held, illumined. And in this breath, all creation is tended, held, and illumined. All that seems dark and all that seems light. All that seems unitive and all that seems divisive. All that seems painful and all that seems joyful. All that seems hateful and all that seems love-filled. Together we breathe. Together we are breathed forth. And as we slowly bring this meditation to completion, allow your presence now that is so magnified to spill forth throughout creation as intentional blessing. And now let's allow our intentional blessing to spill forth to each other wherever we may be on the globe. And in this spilling forth is the dance of letting yourself receive in equal proportion to your giving, if not more. And bring the focus now completely back to your own breath. Notice how the body expands on the inhale and contracts on the exhale. Notice how you are in this moment. The you that is the conscious part of your participation. Notice the body, the mind, and the heart. And to bring our time to a close, I'll offer part of a small chant. Salve, Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo, et spes nostra, salve. And in order to let the integration happen with ease, I invite you as you begin to open your eyes to look only downward and notice in your downward gaze the room or place where you sit, the textures and colors and elements around you. Then your own sense of presence in this space. And when you are ready, I invite you to raise your gaze to meet mine, that you have only mine. So lovely to be with you on these very deep, profound, yet penetrating and simple levels of our being. May you walk in that place and in that way today and every day, beyond the feast, in the feast and beyond the feast. And I know at the end of our meditation, Sarah opens it for sharing, so I want to welcome that. But before that, she invites us to share anything we'd like about our own service and ministry and work, if you will. You can find any ways to be connected to me on my website, kimberlybraun.com. And on that website, you will find that presently what I've got going on are 3 online courses, an online spiritual and transformational community, and the option for private sessions of meditation coaching, spiritual companionship, and more. The last that's not on the website is an intensive I'm offering for 2022 called Acceleration 2022. And if you have desire to know more about that, you can email me, kimberly@kimberlybraun.com. It starts next week. And when it starts, it will last the year. And it's a small group. I only have a couple spots left. So I have 5. I'm not allowing more than 8 to be a part of any one group. And it will be a wonderful deep dive filled with wonderful practice, group sharing, intensives, and sessions. So Kimberly@kimberlybraun.com. And my website, kimberlybraun.com. It's pretty easy. I wanted to make it easy.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Kimberly. I was just on your website to grab your bio here, and what I was impressed with was that you've got a meditation community on there, and also that those chants that you just gave us a little tiny tidbit of are on there as well. And can you share what that chant was that you shared with us earlier?
Absolutely. It is the first phrase of a longer chant. So the longer chant is called the Solemn, Salve, Regina. And I just took the little snippet because the little snippet talks about hailing. It's Salve is hail. And I wanted to bring in the strong energy of hailing in our group, hailing the divine mystery in each one of us. Traditionally in Christianity, it is a hymn to the magnitude of the presence of Mary. But I have found over the years, the more and more I use these chants, this one in particular is really the divine feminine. So we may use the word and the name Mary, and that's fine if you want that devotional. She's close in my own life, but it really stirs up the divine feminine in us. So that's what I wanted to end this meditation with, was that.
Well, I just love how you demonstrated that you can meditate anywhere, anytime, as long as you're not operating heavy machinery, as long as you have a quiet, safe place to be. And I know you're near some of our participants that live right, and they know that rest area. They live right by you. So
That's so
feel
awesome.
free to reach out to them. They're in the chat here. But I really appreciate you showing up and bringing that depth of practice that that you share with us. I can totally feel it. It's an honor to have you here, and I know that many people said that you left them with goosebumps. So I'm going to stop the recording right now, and thank you.